My mother-in-law handed me a small, wrapped box at her husband's retirement party when she thought no one was watching. "A little something for my favorite son-in-law," she said with a tight smile. I thanked her and quietly swapped it with her husband's pen, the one he always used to sign his condescending checks. An hour later, "Thank you so much for being here with us today. Before we jump into the story, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Leave a comment with the city you live in now." Let's dive into today's story. I'm Jasper Hale, a 34-year-old ceramic artist from Portland, Oregon, and I'm bone-tired as I pull into our driveway. I've spent the last week at a pottery workshop in the Cascades, my hands chapped from wet clay, my shoulders screaming from hauling kilns through snow-dusted trails. All I want is a hot shower and my bed, but Lena, my wife, has other plans. "DAD's retirement party is tonight," she says, her hazel eyes pleading over a cup of tea. "It's just a few hours, please." Her smile could melt glaciers, so I nod, ignoring the ache in my bones. We drive to her parents' sleek, glass-walled house in the West Hills, the kind of place that screams money and judgment. Her mother, Claudia, greets me at the door, her blonde bob perfect, her smile too tight. "Jasper, so good to see you," she says, handing me a small, wrapped box tied with a silver ribbon. "A little something for my favorite son-in-law." Her voice drips like honey, but there's a glint in her blue eyes I don't trust. I mutter a thanks and tuck it under my arm, feeling her gaze linger as I step inside. Later, while Lena chats with her brother Ethan, I slip into the kitchen for a breather. The party's hum fades as I unwrap Claudia's gift alone. It's a hand-carved wooden pen, dark walnut with intricate swirls, beautiful but heavier than it should be. A faint, sharp smell hits me, like acetone or something chemical, and my fingertips tingle where they brush the wood. My stomach twists. Claudia's never hidden her disdain for my messy little pots, as she calls them. Her husband, Victor, our retired tech exec, loves reminding me I'll never afford a house like theirs on an artist's pay. This gift feels wrong. Instinct kicks in. I spot Victor's monogrammed pen on his desk nearby, shiny, pretentious, and swap them, sliding the carved one into his jacket pocket hanging by the door. I don't know what's coming, but I've learned to trust the unease prickling my skin. Something's off, and I'm not waiting to find out the hard way. The hum of the retirement party fades as I lean against the kitchen counter, the swapped pens still weighing in my mind. Lena's laughter drifts in from the living room, bright and unguarded, and it steadies me. We met 8 years ago at a craft fair downtown, where she lingered at my booth, tracing the rim of a speckled mug with her botanist fingers. "This feels like the earth," she'd said, her voice soft as spring rain. I was hooked. Her quiet passion for plants matched my love for shaping clay. We built a life in our little rental, her with her ferns and me with my wheel, but her parents never saw it as enough. Victor and Claudia sized me up from day one, their smiles thin as the edge of a dime. Victor, with his pressed suits and tech fortune, would lean back at their polished oak table every Sunday dinner and ask, still playing with mud, "Jasper, when's the real job coming?" His chuckle stung like a splinter under a nail. Claudia was gentler, her barbs wrapped in silk. "Such a creative soul," she'd say, pouring coffee. But Lena's always been practical. She needs stability. I tried to win them over. I'd bring a hand-thrown vase for their mantel, show them photos of my work in local galleries, even mentioned the commission for a hotel lobby that paid our bills for months. They'd nod, but their eyes stayed cold. Victor once handed me a business card for a buddy at a warehouse firm, steady hours. Good benefits like I was a kid needing a nudge. Claudia would fuss over Lena, adjusting her scarf, asking about her research grants, while I sat there, a guest in their story. Lena felt it too. Under the table, her hand would find mine, her thumb brushing my knuckles. A silent "I'm sorry" that kept me from bolting. I'd watch her, my anchor in their storm, and think of my folks back in Eugene, who'd framed my first lumpy bowl like it was fine art. They'd get it how a life built by hand means something, but the slights piled up like firewood. Claudia forgot me in their Christmas card photo 2 years back, cropping me out with a smile. Victor offered to pay for Lena's grad school reunion trip, then smirked. "Guess Jasper's kiln can't cover that." I'd swallow it, thinking time might soften them. It didn't. Last fall, over pumpkin pie, Claudia mused aloud to Lena. You could have had Nathan, you know, the lawyer with the lake house. Her paws hung heavy, and Lena's fork stilled. I stared at my plate, the crust crumbling under my grip, feeling like a stray they'd taken in out of pity. Victor chimed in later, pulling me aside by the coat rack. Kids are in your future. Right, better shore up that income. Pottery's cute, but it won't buy diapers. His tone was casual, like he was advising me on a car tune-up, not dismantling my worth. Tonight's different, though. That pen wasn't just another jab, it was a shove. Standing here, the granite cool under my palms, I replay the years the way Claudia's voice lilts when she calls me the artist, like it's a quirk Lena'll outgrow. How Victor's handshake lingers, firm and pitying, as if he's measuring my failure. I think of the mornings Lena and I sip coffee on our sagging porch, her barefoot, me sketching glaze ideas on a napkin our small, good life they can't see. My chest tightens, not with the hot anger of youth, but a quieter ache, the kind that creeps in when you've carried a load too long. I'm not just tired of their disdain, I'm weary of pretending it doesn't cut. Claudia's gift sits heavy in my thoughts, a question mark I can't shake. I've always trusted my hands, they've pulled beauty from mud, but now they're trembling, sensing a betrayal I can't yet name. Lena's voice calls me back to the party, soft and steady. And I straighten. Whatever's coming, I'll face it for her, for us, for the life we've stitched together despite their unraveling threads. The retirement party's winding down, the clatter of dishes a soft backdrop as I stack plates in the dining room. Then a sharp gasp slices through the room. Victor's slumped in his leather armchair by the fireplace, his face flushed like a ripe apple, his hand clawing at his chest as if digging for air. Call 911, Lena shouts, a wineglass slipping from her fingers. It shatters on the hardwood, a jagged echo that freezes time. Claudia stands rooted by the dessert table, her eyes snapping to me, wide and glassy, before she stumbles to his side. I'm stuck, the swapped pen a lead weight in my pocket, my pulse hammering like a kiln firing too hot. Paramedics burst in, their boots scuffing the polished floor, and soon Victor's on a stretcher, oxygen mask fogging with his shallow breaths. Lena clings to Ethan, her shoulders trembling, tears streaking her cheeks. I want to wrap her in my arms, but my legs feel bolted down. Claudia's gaze locks on mine through the chaos, her lips a tight line, and it hits me she knows I switched it. The air thickens, heavy with unspoken accusation. We follow to the hospital, the waiting room a blur of antiseptic tang and flickering fluorescence. Lena curls into a hard plastic chair, her head resting on my shoulder, her fingers twisting the frayed hem of her sweater, a habit from when we'd stay up late dreaming over mugs of chamomile tea. I stroke her hair, breathing in her lavender shampoo, but my mind's racing. The doctor finally steps out, his clipboard crisp against his scrubs. He's stable, he says. Allergic reaction to a toxin, traces on a pen he was carrying. Strange thing to have around. Lena exhales a shaky sound of relief, but my stomach plummets. That pen was mine, or was supposed to be. I slide my hand into my jacket, feeling the smooth edges of Victor's monogrammed one, and decide to keep it close evidence. Back home, Lena collapses on our couch, still in her coat, exhaustion carving lines around her eyes. I can't sleep. I sit at our kitchen table, the one we sanded down one rainy weekend, laughing over splinters, and turn that carved pen over in the lamplight. My hands tremble, not from fear, but from a dawning truth. Claudia didn't just want to mock me, she wanted me out of the picture. Morning comes, grey and damp. Lena heads back to check on Victor with Ethan, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I call Sam, an old buddy from my Eugene days who runs a lab near the river. He's the kind of guy who'd bring homemade jam to a potluck and ask about your garden, not pry into your troubles. Can you test this? I ask, dropping the pen off in a Ziploc bag, my voice steady despite the churn in my gut. 2 days later, his call wakes me from a nap. Ricin derivative, he says, low and serious, not lethal, but enough to floor you. Fever, vomiting, maybe a hospital stay. Where'd this come from? Jasper. I mutter something about a weird commission and thank him, hanging up as my throat closes. Ricin, Claudia laced it to sabotage my gallery show next week, the one I've poured months into, my chance to prove I'm more than mud boy. I see her handing it over, that syrupy smile, and my chest tightens not with a young man's blaze of rage, but a quieter, sadder burn, like a candle flickering out after years of wind. That night, I wait till Lena's asleep, her soft snores a lifeline beside me, before driving to Claudia's. Victor's still in the hospital, so she's alone, tending her orchids in the sunroom. The snip of her shears punctuates the silence as I step in, holding the pen up like a question. Why? My voice is low, steady. She pauses, a leaf drifting to the tile, and her face shifts soft to stone. You're imagining things, she says, but her fingers twitch, not betraying her. I take a breath, keeping calm. Lab says ricin. That was for me, wasn't it? She sets the shears down, deliberate, and meets my gaze. You're a liability, Jasper, she whispers, her tone cold as winter glass. Lena needs someone solid, not a dreamer messing with clay. I figured a little scare, a sick day, might show her what I see. Her words sting, sharp and precise, but it's her certainty that guts me. She's not ashamed. She's pruning me out, same as those plants, with no thought to the roots I've grown with her daughter. The drive home blurs, Portland's lights streaking like wet paint. I grip the wheel, knuckles pale, and think of Lena, how she beamed last spring planting basil in our backyard. Her hands, as dirty as mine. She loves me, flaws and all. But Claudia's betrayal slices deeper than Victor's snide remarks ever could. It's not just me she's after. It's Lena's life she's shaping, like she's still picking her prom dress or college major. I pull into our driveway, the porch light buzzing faintly, and sit there, engine off, rain tapping the roof. My parents taught me to mend what's cracked pots, dot fences, hearts, but this break feels too jagged. I tuck the pen in a drawer beside our grocery lists and Lena's seed packets, a quiet vow forming. I'll fight not with fists or shouts, but with facts for Lena, for the life we've carved out, piece by tender piece, because this isn't just a gift gone sour, it's a battle line, and I'm not surrendering. The days after confronting Claudia stretch thin, like clay pulled too far on the wheel. Lena's back from the hospital, bustling in our kitchen, chopping onions for soup while Victor recovers at home. She hums softly, a tune from our first date at a folk concert, and I want to tell her everything, Claudia's ricin, a cold confession, but the words stick. I'm still reeling from the lab report Sam sent, the stark black ink confirming a toxin meant to sideline me. I keep it folded in my wallet next to a faded photo of us at the coast, Lena's hair wild in the wind. Instead of talking, I nod at her chatter about Victor's meds, my hands busy shaping a mug for a last-minute order. But then the phone rings. It's the hotel manager from my big commission, 20 custom vases for their lobby. Sorry, Jasper, he says, voice clipped. You cancelled yesterday, said you couldn't deliver. My stomach lurches. I didn't call. He hangs up before I can argue, and I'm left staring at the receiver. The dial tone a hollow buzz. Thousands gone. Just like that, I check my email, fingers trembling over the keys, and find a sent message I never wrote. Unreliable schedule. Pulling out. The timestamps from yesterday, when I was glazing in the garage. Claudia, she's got my password. Must have snooped during a visit. I sink into our creaky desk chair, the one we scored at a yard sale, and feel the air shift. This isn't just about the pen anymore. She's dismantling my life, piece by piece, to prove I'm the failure she's always claimed. I call the manager back, explain. It's a mix-up, but he's already rehired someone else. Trust's broken, he says. I hang up, my throat raw, and stare at the half-finished mug on my wheel. It's not the money, though that stings. It's the hours I poured in, the pride I took, now dust. Lena calls me to dinner, her voice warm, but I can barely taste the soup. She doesn't notice my silence, and I don't burden her, not yet. 2 days later, it gets worse. Lena comes home from her lab, her face pale, eyes red-rimmed, like she's been crying in the car. She drops her bag by the door, the thud heavy on our worn rug, and holds up her phone. What's this, Jasper? Her voice quivers, soft but sharp. Texts flirty, intimate from me to some woman named Claire. My gut twists. I didn't send those, I say, reaching for her, but she steps back, hugging herself. They're from your number, she whispers. Mom saw them too. She called me at work, said I should have listened when she warned me about you. I freeze. Claudia again. She's planted this, hacked my phone somehow, and spun it to Lena's colleagues. By noon, whispers had spread at the lab. Lena's husband, the cheater. She stares at me, her trust fraying, and I feel a quiet ache bloom, not loud despair, but the slow bleed of losing her faith. I'd never, I say, voice steady. She nods, but her eyes flicker with doubt, and she heads to bed early, leaving me alone with the hum of the fridge. That night, I sit on our back steps, the wood cool under my palms, staring at the basil plants we nursed through spring. The air smells of earth and rain, and I think of my dad, how he'd fix anything. A busted fence, a cracked pot, with patience and a steady hand. I need that now. I dig into Claudia's past, calling an old neighbor who'd moved away. She hesitates, then spills. Claudia's been on sedatives for years, hoarding pills, even slipped something into Lena's ex's coffee once to end things. I track down a pharmacist friend who confirms Claudia's got multiple prescriptions under aliases. It's a pattern. Anyone threatening her grip on Lena gets cut out. My chest tightens, not with fury's heat, but a weary sorrow, the kind that settles after years of small wounds. She's not just after me, she's caging Lena like a bird she won't let fly. I compile it all: lab report, email screenshots, pharmacist notes into a folder on my laptop, the glow casting shadows on our living room walls. Lena's doubt lingers in the air, heavy as the quilts my mum used to sew, and it cuts deeper than the lost commission. I think of our Sundays, her reading plant journals, me sketching glazes, the radio crackling with oldies. That's what Claudia's stealing, not just my work, but our peace. I could confront her again, demand she stop, but she'd twist it, play victim. No, I'll wait, gather more, strike when it counts. I step outside again, the night cool, and pick a basil leaf, crushing it between my fingers. The sharp scent grounds me. This isn't over. I'll fight not with shouts or fists, but with the quiet strength of truth for Lena, who deserves to see her mother's mask slip. For us, who've built something real amid her wreckage. Because this isn't just sabotage, it's war, and I'm not breaking. The folder on my laptop grows heavier each day: lab reports, hacked emails. Pharmacist whispers like a stone I've carried too long. Lena's doubt still lingers, a quiet shadow between us, though she softened some, kissing my cheek this morning over oatmeal. Then a package arrives, no return address, just a USB drive and a note in Olivia's neat script. Ethan's wife. You need this. I plug it into my laptop, the hum of our old fan cutting the silence, and watch grainy footage from Claudia and Victor's security system. There's Claudia in their kitchen the night of the party, dabbing something onto that carved pen, her movements precise as she trims her roses. Victor's voice off screen, careful with that stuff. Later, him drinking coffee, shrugging. She's protective. Jasper's a phase. Another clip, days after, shows them in their den, plotting. If Lena thinks he's cheating, Claudia says, she'll come home. Like with Miles. Victor nods. She always does. My hands clench, not in a blaze, but with a slow, deep ache, like losing a pot to a crack after hours at the wheel. Olivia calls that afternoon, her voice hushed over the line. They did it to me too, she says, when Ethan and I got engaged. Claudia spread lies, said I flirted with Victor's golf buddies, nearly broke us. I picture her steady Olivia, who bakes bread for our block parties, and feel a kinship. Ethan doesn't see it, she adds. He thinks they're saints. I thank her, the USB warm in my palm, and know it's time. That night, I tell Lena we're going to her parents, all of us. Me, Ethan, Olivia. She hesitates, twisting her wedding band, but nods. I trust you, she says, soft as a prayer, and it's enough. We drive over, the folder and USB tucked in my bag, the car's heater rattling like my nerves. Their house looms, all sharp angles and cold glass, but I'm steady roots deep, not swaying. Inside, Victor's out of the hospital, lounging in a sweater, his color back. Claudia offers tea, her smile brittle. And Ethan and Olivia sit stiff on the couch, their toddler's crayons scattered nearby, a touch of normalcy in the storm. I don't waste time. We need to talk. I say, setting my laptop on their coffee table, the one Lena once scratched as a kid. I play the footage Claudia with the pen, their voices scheming. Lena gasps, her mug trembling, tea sloshing onto her jeans. Victor shifts, eyes narrowing, while Claudia snaps. That's edited. Jasper, you're desperate. I pull out the folder Ryson report, .email screenshots, Olivia's note and spread them like cards. This isn't just me, I say, voice low. It's Miles. Olivia, anyone who didn't fit your mold. Olivia nods. Quiet. It's true, Ethan. They lied about me too. Lena's eyes well up, not loud sobs, but a silent spill, like rain on our garden after a dry spell. Mom, she whispers. Pleading. Claudia falters, then hardens. We wanted the best for you, she says. Jasper's unreliable cancelled jobs. Rumors. You deserve more. Victor chimes in. Calm as ever. Families protect their own. I counter. By poisoning me. By faking texts. Ethan stares at the screen, shaking his head. This can't be real. But Olivia touches his arm. It is. I lived it. Lena stands, wiping her face with her sleeve, a gesture so familiar from nights we talked till dawn, and turns to me. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Her voice breaks, soft and raw. I needed you to see it, I say, meeting her gaze. Not just hear it from me. The room stills, the tick of their mantel clock loud as a heartbeat. Claudia's defiance cracks, her hands wringing a napkin, something my mum did when worried. We didn't mean harm, she mutters, but it's hollow. Victor leans forward, stern. You've got no proof that'll hold up. I pull a USB from my pocket, a twin to Olivia's. This goes to your golf club, your church group. If you push us again, I say, calm but firm. I won't ruin you, it'd hurt Lena, but I'll protect us. Ethan stands, face pale. I need air, he mumbles, stepping out. Olivia trailing him. Lena takes my hand, her grip tight, and faces them. You don't control me anymore, she says, voice steady despite the tears. We're done with this. We leave. The night cool, stars peeking through Portland's clouds. In the car, Lena rests her head on my shoulder, her breath warm against my neck. I'm sorry I doubted you, she whispers. I squeeze her hand, feeling the calluses from my wheel against her soft skin. You're here now, I say. Relief washes over me, not a shout of victory, but a quiet tide, knowing she sees them for what they are. I think of our mornings, her watering plants while I fire pots. The radio humming tunes we've loved for years. Claudia and Victor can't touch that. I've turned their weapon deceit into our shield. Not with vengeance, but truth laid bare. As we pull into our driveway, the porch light glows, steady and sure, and I know we're unbroken stronger for it. 3 months after the confrontation, Lena gives birth to our son, Theo, his tiny fists curling against my chest as I rock him in our creaky chair. Claudia and Victor send a crib, hand carved like that pen. No note, just a gesture, silent and stiff. We don't talk about it, but Lena keeps it in Theo's room, a small truce. Christmas rolls around, and they invite us over, promising a fresh start. I'm wary, but Lena's eyes light up. She's still their daughter, so we go. Victor's charming, asking about my latest glaze techniques over roast turkey, his tone almost warm. Claudia fusses with Theo, cooing as she adjusts his blanket. After dinner, Victor pulls me into his study, pours a bourbon, and says, ever thought about consulting? Tech firms love artsy types now, good pay. I sip the drink, set it down untouched, and slide my sold-out gallery catalogue across his desk. I'm good, I say, firm but quiet. His jaw tightens, but he nods. They come to my next show, lingering by the vases, saying little before leaving. It's not love, but it's distance, respect, maybe. Back home, Theo's asleep in my arms, his breath a soft rhythm against my shirt. Lena curls beside me on the couch, her feet tucked under a quilt my mum made, and whispers, we're enough. I nod, the weight of the past lifting like smoke from a kiln. Victor and Claudia text now and then, Theo's milestones. A holiday card, but they don't push. Our life settles into its own shape, mornings with coffee and baby giggles, afternoons at the wheel while Lena tends her herbs. The folder and USB sit in a drawer, unneeded, but they're a quiet guard. One evening, as I wipe clay from my hands, I catch Lena smiling at Theo in his high chair, peas smeared on his cheeks. It's ordinary, messy, ours, and it's everything they couldn't break. Looking back, I see I didn't win by outsmarting them, not really. Claudia and Victor wielded control like a tool, shaping lives to fit their frame. I could have shattered them, spread that footage wide. But it'd have cracked Lena too, and she's my heart. Instead, I held steady, let truth do the work. Lab reports, Olivia's courage, Lena's own eyes opening. Success isn't their nod or their wealth, it's this. Theo's laugh, Lena's hand in mine, pots I fire on my terms. For years, I thought proving myself meant changing their minds. But it's simpler, it's living true, unshaken by their shadows. That's the lesson they taught me without meaning to. Sometimes strength isn't a loud fight, but a quiet stand, building what matters with your own hands. As the stars peek over our roof, I rest my head against Lena's, Theo warm between us, and feel it peace, hard won and whole. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. Family can be a place of love or the deepest kind of pain. If you've ever felt mistreated or taken for granted by those closest to you, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who else might need to hear your story.